Telling you, man, it's a bunch of crazy stuff going on. Bunch of crazy stuff going on here. Okay, so the in the case of the Julius Jones, in the case of Julius Jones, I was talking about this case the other day, and there's a man named Julius Jones that was sentenced to death. He was supposed to be sentenced to death tonight, and the governor of Oklahoma has commuted his death sentence. So we have Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt commuted the death sentence of condemned inmate Julius Jones today, and the day of his scheduled execution. Jones has proclaimed his innocence from death row for more than 2 decades in the 1999 killing of a suburban Oklahoma businessman. Stitt commuted Jones' death sentence to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. He had been scheduled for execution on Thursday, and the state's Pardon and Parole Board recommended a 3-to-1 vote on November 1st that Stitt commute Jones' sentence to life in prison, with several members of that panel agreeing they had doubts about the evidence that led to Jones' conviction. Jones, 41, was convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to die in the 1999 shooting death of Edmond businessman Paul Howe during the carjacking. Jones' case drew widespread attention after it was profiled in The Last Defense, a 3-episode documentary produced by actress Viola Davis that aired on ABC in 2018. Since then, reality television star and athletes with Oklahoma ties, including NBA stars Russell Westbrook, Blake Griffin, and Trae Young, have urged Stitt to commute Jones' death sentence and spare his life. Jones alleges that he was framed by the actual killer, a high school friend and former co-defendant who was a key witness against him. But Oklahoma County District Attorney David Prater and the state's former Attorney General Mike Hunter have said the evidence against Jones is overwhelming. Information from the trial transcripts shows that witnesses identified Jones as the shooter and placed him on with Howe's stolen vehicle. Investigators also found the murder weapon wrapped in a bandana with Jones' DNA in an attic space above his bedroom. Jones claimed in his commutation filing that the gun and bandana were planted there by the actual killer, who had been inside Jones' house after the killing. Howe's sister, Megan Toby, and 2 young granddaughters were in Howe's SUV when the carjacking happened in his parents' driveway in Oklahoma suburb of Edmond. And wow, I'm telling you, man, this is some crazy stuff going on. Crazy stuff going on, and we just gotta, keep our eyes open. Keep our eyes open and hope for the best. So we got a NFL player, another NFL player. It was a video that came out earlier today. It wasn't this guy. It was a video that came out earlier today, man, with a guy that used to be in the NFL. Man, it was so brutal and so graphic. Man, it was really bad. It kind of threw me off. So, that story, man, really upset me, man, to see how this guy was just pounding on this girl. It was really pathetic, man. And he's going to do a lot of time behind this one. He's going to jail, and he's going to go to jail for a long time behind that. But anyway, this is a different guy here. And NFL Nigel Bradman, and this is a different type. This is a different story. And this guy is a current NFL player. The other guy I was talking about was a ex-NFL player and a free agent. He was arrested in Florida after the police allegedly found weapons and more than 3 pounds of marijuana in his vehicle. He was charged with possessing marijuana with the intent to sell, use of a firearm, in the commission of a felony and possession of marijuana over 20 grams. And one of the guns found in the vehicle allegedly came back as a stolen weapon from Missouri. And he bonded out. As always, Bradham, who most formerly played for the Eagles, has the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty in the court of law. And that's our system here, and we should be thankful for it. Having said that, this isn't a minor situation like a traffic ticket. He has been accused of multiple felonies, and he has a great lawyer. Now would be a time to call him, because it sounds like he's going to need him. Whenever you are allegedly found with a stolen gun and drugs, the police are going to treat it incredibly seriously for, and I don't know what to expect. We'll see how this one plays out. Don't know how this is going to play out. But anyway, here's another guy, another story. We have a man in prison. And he's been in prison for 40 years for triple murder. And he fight for freedom with the help from a prosecutor. So the actual prosecutor's helping the man. This is a Missouri man has been in prison for 4 decades. All you people that don't know what a decade is 10 years. So he's been in jail for 40 years for a triple murder that he may not have committed, could be released thanks to the effort of one relentless prosecutor. As reported, Kevin Strickland recently got to testify at a 3-day hearing that could lead to his release after 43 years in prison. And from the report, Strickland, 62 years old, was convicted on 1 count of capital murder and 2 counts of second-degree murder when 4 people were shot in Kansas City in '78. The only person who survived, Cynthia Douglas, who died in 2015, testified Strickland was at the scene. Strickland has been an inmate at the Western Missouri Correctional Center in Cameron, Missouri, but never changed his story of innocence. So Cynthia's family said that the affidavit that Douglas told everyone, the detectives told her what to say. Wow. The detectives told her what to say. I wasn't about to plead guilty to a crime I had absolutely nothing to do with, Strickland said during his Monday evidentiary hearing, and he said he just wasn't going to do that. At 18 years old, and I knew the system worked, so I knew that I would be vindicated. I wouldn't be found guilty of a crime I did not commit. I would not take a plea deal and admit to something I did not do. The 3-day hearing concluded Wednesday, and the judge is expected to make a decision soon. Baker's motion stems from a law that allows local prosecutors to ask judges to exonerate prisoners deemed innocent. And most of us have heard of the famous quotation that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere, Baker said in a written statement. And Kevin Strickland stands in our own example of what happens when the system, set to be just gets it terribly, terribly, terribly wrong. So that's a bunch of guys, man, out here doing some stuff. And here's somebody else out here doing some stupidity, man. You got the Harvey, Illinois, police sheriff, and he asked to resign, and the mayor wants to stop the department's culture of corruption. So, the Chicago police, well, I take that back. Excuse me, folks, for making that mistake. The Harvey, Illinois police chief is out. He's out. So he's out as the city attempts to get a grip on corruption. Mayor Christopher Clark said he asked Chief John Mosley to resign. This week, they have completed a sweeping change to the police department. The priority of the city must be to have trained elite police officers on the streets, patrolling them to ensure that criminals cannot run and disrupt this community, the Mayor Clark said. This comes after Olivia Cobbins, a former Chicago Police Department officer, was hired to crack down on corruption, and she said that she quit in disgust said I couldn't stand in the position that I was in, and as a police officer, and see the level of corruption and misconduct in Harvey, Illinois. Cobbin said she could not stay. Cobbin said on more than one occasion, her efforts to investigate misconduct were blocked by higher-ups in the department. She said that an officer came to her with allegations that Harvey deputy chief punched the handcuffed student in the chest. Cobbin said when she tried to investigate, police management blocked her from accessing evidence, including body cam, video, and Cobbins also stated that a higher level official laughed at her attempts to look into the death threats against the Harvey officer. The mayor responded by accusing Cobbins of never coming to him to ask for help or identify where the corruption and in the police department was coming from. Other civilian employees are also out, the mayor said. There's a culture of corruption that has to be stopped. So they're getting rid of a lot of people. They chopping. Got a lot of folks on the chopping block over there. And so after telling all that news on that level, I got to come to you with a feel-good story. That's right. And although he got his first gig in a bathroom at a Renaissance high school in Detroit, Michigan, it seems as though 16-year-old Cameron Tucker will go far. Tucker first picked up cutting hair over the summer after learning the basics from his uncle. Later on, what started as cutting his young cousins and friends' hair, as well as posting his skills on social media, transformed into a successful business of servicing his football teammates and fellow classmates. That successful business also made it into a school year, as the outlet reports that Cameron was caught cutting his clientele of classmates' hair in the bathroom during study hall. I want to say wrong time, wrong place. It said a phone call was made to Tucker's mother, Cassandra, and unfortunately, Cameron was given a one-day suspension for his entrepreneurial moves as the bathroom barber. But those moves couldn't keep him down for long. While Tucker was no longer allowed to cut hair at school, it seems the upcoming barber will continue mastering his craft. After his suspension, Tucker caught the attention of Sebastian Jackson, the owner of the social grooming company. His regular clients include Detroit natives, former NBA player Jalen Rose, rapper Big Sean, R&B singer Dwale, and former Lions running backs Reggie Bush and Jock Bell. And Jackson recognized Tucker's passion as he himself started cutting hair at age 15. And after getting connected through the outlet, Jackson took a moment to sit and chat with the young man via Zoom. You become pretty good at your craft in such a short period of time, Jackson said. I tell you, man, just based on the hustle, if you're interested in being an apprentice of with one of my cosmetologists or myself, it's definitely an opportunity. Along with offering Tucker a chance to train with him, Jackson provided Tucker with advice to elevate his skills and shared his own personal barber journey. It was an honor meeting him, Cameron Tucker said. It was definitely a learning experience, learning where he came from and where he is now. So go ahead, young man, take the chance, take that offer. He's offering you a chance, to be to come on in there, and somebody's gonna be his apprentice. So go ahead and do that. Be this professional barber's apprentice. Learn all you can learn, make some money, and learn all you can learn. And then if you're gonna cut hair, your friend's hair, just do it at home. Do it at your people's house in the backyard. Do it outside in the backyard. But hey, you can do that. Go ahead on and do that. Do it. Well, Detroit, they can. A lot of those houses back there got basements. So hey, anyway, this has been breaking news about basically Julius Jones, and I had a couple of other stories. Julius Jones has been exonerated, and his time has been, well, not exonerated. His time has been commuted. His death sentence has been commuted, and it has been transferred over to a life sentence. However, due to some of the circumstances, he may just get a chance to file a couple of more appeals. Who knows? He might even get a second trial. All right, this has been KP's Video News. Breaking news.